What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 here for another Hot Toys video review. This is an older one. It's the Chitauri. You know, I just got around liking this figure, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna purchase one, see how I like it, and you know, we'll go on from there. It's a really good figure, to be quite honest with you. The problem with it, it's overpriced. It's kind of like having stormtroopers. You need multiples of them, so with the price point which they originally was announced for, I believe it's what, 220, 225, something like that, and then the 2-pack was around 400. It's not really reasonable at that time. Even now, you know, I think Sideshow is still selling them, or Big Bad, for that price. You know, sometimes they go on sale for 200, but a piece. But I think they're just a little too much. They're really nice, as you can see from the box. It's a huge box. It's a lot bigger figure too than I thought it would be. I didn't know I was gonna like them a lot as well, but yeah, look at them right here. This is the special edition, the 2-pack that comes with extra weapons and hands. So you know, it's a big figure. It's also a nicer figure, and to be quite honest, I did like Avengers 1 more than Avengers 2, but it has nothing to do with this figure. It's just, I don't know, I just like villains, you know, in general. As you can see, the hands, they're two different color tones, so you know there's a foot soldier and then there's the commander. I believe this is the foot soldier. You know, I believe the grayish one is the commander. As you can see here, there's a lot of details on this hands. They have this weird hand where it looks like they have 2 thumbs or something like that. The texturing is also nice. As you can see, they have this little gauntlets in their, or glove on their hands. It's nicely sculpted. The weathering is quite nice. You see some textures in their hands, and they have decent amount of hands. That's the apparently a grenade, Chitauri grenade that the commander is holding. Nice details on this one as well. It's just plastic, so, but nice accessory to have. You know, they don't come with much. They come with some guns that you've seen if you had the Avengers before. Would I do the same thing with Ultron? Perhaps. You know, I'll take any villains. I like villains, to be quite honest with you. And then I know Hot Toys doesn't do much, and also Marvel is not very good at. But at the same time, you can't really fault them. It's not like you know, every character is Batman, who has a huge array of villains that you can, you know, that you can manufacture. As far as Marvel Universe is concerned, they always have this one massive villain like Loki or Ultron, and then they have this little soldiers of villains like the Chitauris and, you know, the mini Ultrons and all that stuff. But as far as actual villains, like Batman has Two-Face, or they don't really have this you know, signature villain. They have even Iron Man, as you know, they're having a hard time giving Iron Man any villains. You know, he has Mandarin, who kind of sucks in the movie, and also we got Whiplash, which is a really nice figure, but not, you can't put him in the same level as Two-Face or Joker or Penguin and all that good stuff, at least from Batman's standpoint. I know Superman doesn't have any villains as well, but you know, at least on that standpoint. So now we got, at least I have to settle for this Chitauris. And they have 2 separate helmets, as you can see there. The pieces do come apart, so I mean, they're pretty easy to assemble. But as you can see here, the paint apps is just marvelous. It's gorgeous. It feels like it's a rusted, you know, steel, or just a real helmet, scratched up and all that, so weathered. Now the guns, they do come with 2 Chitauri guns. You've seen this with, if you did have the Captain America Avengers, the first version. He does come with this. It's plastic. The quality is okay, you know. I mean, they can't be die cast, otherwise they'll be too heavy. So I'm not too critical on this part. What you gotta do is take off the hand and insert it on the peg. Still quite nice though, to be quite honest with you. The paint apps is terrific. It has some burnt marks out there. Yeah, I mean, any accessory, like I said, that you would get from this Chitauris, I would get. I know this is a bit of an older figure, but for those guys who's planning to pick up this, you know, this piece, they're still quite expensive. Although maybe on eBay you can find them for around 170 sometimes, you know, which I think should have been the right price for this guy. 170 or around 150 ideal, so you can create an army of them. But for 220, it's with plus tax, it's just a little too much. And this is, I believe, the special edition. You'll get this if you bought the Black Widow Avengers version. You see that? I don't even know what this is. I believe it's a gun. And you also get the folded version, or that could be the exclusive one. Not sure, but yeah, this comes with a foot soldier. As you can see there. Nice details, nice paint applications, scratched up and all that stuff. Weathered. Beautiful, beautiful, you know, beautiful accessories. I'll put them aside. And yeah, like I said, you know, he comes with a folded one as well, folded version that you can insert on his back, at least in the foot soldier, very easily. It's just there's like a gap, and then you just slide it in there. I'm just a little worried that over time it would create a paint transfer. So, you know, Hot Toys does that. It happened in my Alfred. I'm just sitting there, and then all of a sudden I saw his hands kind of black because of the suit, the fabric. But it might not happen here. But you know, I'm not gonna put my money on it. And as far as, you know, accessories and bases, diorama, they come with this nice pieces, because they have diorama bases, so they come with this nice. It's actually not plastic. It's kind of like a, I don't know, tin metal kind of thingy sign, and then they come with all this debris, so it looks like everything's coming, you know, falling pieces in everywhere, like debris. And this is a nice piece, you know, if you're trying to assemble a nice diorama of Avengers and fighting all these guys. They might look nice right next to Ultron's guys, you know, I'm not gonna lie. If you buy 2 Ultron pieces, 2 of these, maybe Ultron Sentry and Loki, you can have a nice mixture of Avengers 1 and 2 going around. This is a nice plastic piece as well. I don't know, I like this diorama, you know, pieces. They add a little bit more effect, you know, into your display pieces, and some, like I said, more rocks and stuffs here. And then if you have enough of these pieces, you can stack them together. And like I say, if you buy another 2-pack, they would just look nice, you know. I'm sure it's like having 10 stormtroopers. They just look wonderful together. And these are their custom stands, not those normal boring black ones. And I really like this stance. It doesn't have their name on it, it says Chitauri, but it sets up a nice tone. You have them stand in there. If you have the Hulk from the first Avengers, a 2-pack with Bruce Banner that comes with kind of similar effect. I do have the Thor Light Asgardian version, so it does have this rubble and all that stuff. So it's a nice mixture that if you put them all together, you know, you can just throw all these pieces in there if you don't have a big space. And him just standing on a deets off, and it's a nice looking piece, you know, putting them all together. And as far as the figure itself, so it comes with 2 figures. I got the 2-pack, like I said, like you've seen earlier. So now I'm just gonna, this is the foot soldier version, which I think you should have more. But if you bought like 3 2-packs, then that's fine as well. It just looks, I think it looks better if you have a bunch of foot soldiers and just 1 commander. But that's just me. So this is the foot soldier. I mean, I liked it more than I thought it would. It's a lot bigger than a normal size figure. The articulation is not all there because of the single jointed elbow, and also the hands, especially on the commander one, you can't raise him up fully because of some limitations and whatnot. But overall, I think they look pretty good. Like that, it's all weathered and nicely done. If you have the space and you can accommodate, I don't know, at least 6 of them, so have each Avengers fight them, or maybe 8, and have the money, obviously, I would say go for it, you know, as long as the price is right. I would say in around 170 each, maybe would be my price point. But in my case, yeah, you can see the ugly legs right there, the joints, but you know, you won't really, I wish they would have made the joints, at least the paint apps, a little bit better there, not just exposed. But you know, no one's really gonna see them that much. On the backs, that's the place where you're gonna put the folded gun, so to speak. it has a nice texture. Big guy. So like I said, once you just put it there, I'm just like I said earlier, I'm afraid the paint transfer is gonna happen sometime if you leave it there for too long. I wouldn't advise that because this is Hot Toys right here we're talking about. Hot Toys are great figures. I'm not too confident on their quality. Nice looking figures though. Nice looking. They're really expensive, but their quality, I wouldn't trust them. Something like this would do some paint transfer over time. I guarantee you that. Even though you're not living in a humid, hot place, I wouldn't count on this. But yeah, as far as aesthetic wise, even his he has like a little skirt underneath. It's made out of fabric. Really nice looking figure right here. On the back, on the bottom part, you can see his foot is on a ball joint, so you can move it around. He doesn't have any boots, so you can freely move it. You can stand him on his own. He's pretty sturdy, and you're pretty much getting the same look as far as the commander is concerned, just a different color tone, more grayish than this kind of beige brownish kind of thing. And also that headpiece right there, that kind of annoys me because it's connected to his body, so that limits any head movement. And as far as head, they do look similar. At least the eye color, it's a bit different from the foot soldier to the commander. Either way, you can display them, both options. I'd rather have them with a helmet on because it looks more badass. This guy just looks like a dog, he looks more of a very ugly dog. But no head movement, maybe a little bit left and right, can't even look up or down because of that hairpiece that's connected to his chest. Maybe you can make him look down a little bit, but yeah, not a whole lot of range that you can do there. But as far as, again, texture and detail, it's in there. It's hard to judge a figure, and this is my number one rule: is if a figure has a mask and don't have any likeness to it, it shouldn't be the same price as, let's say, Thor, who you need to acquire likeness. And of course it's harder to sculpt Thor because it's an actual human being compared to this guy who's CGI. That itself should have made this figure a lot cheaper than a normal hero, because like I said, there are just add-ons. And as far as mask, this is how you look like with mask, and they have two different masks with the foot soldier and the commander. They look pretty badass, both of them. It's just a matter of assembling them. I didn't I'm not gonna go in depth on detail on how to assemble the mask. It's pretty straightforward. You don't just drop it in there. You kind of get the pieces, align them together, snap it on. It's not that hard, but I would be a little bit careful because they're a little bit brittle. The plastic is not that thick, so consult the manual. That's the only thing I can say. Don't just jump into it and start flipping things out or prying them out, because you might damage them. Not just the paint, but the actual mask itself. Their pieces shouldn't be that expensive. These guys are running on eBay for around, you can get it for $170 used, which is not a bad price, to be quite honest with you. But still, you don't want to spend extra money. And this is the commander right next to the foot soldier, so there's a little bit of difference as far as the armor is concerned. The commander, obviously, that has that shoulder thingy. It moves around as well, it goes up and down, but the armor, you can see he has a larger chest plate that goes all the way down to his abdominals. He has more of a purple hue compared to the blue hue. As far as the armor, I'm talking about the armor here to the foot soldier. Some battle damage on his chest plates. As far as the face, pretty much the same. They're all Chitauris, they all look like dogs. It's again, ugly dogs. But yeah, I'm just giving you a quick rundown here. I'm not gonna spend too much time. His armor, his leg armor looks nice. I can't really complain about the figure outside of the price. You can't really do much when you're talking about like an alien Chitauri. And the good thing about this figures is that they're versatile. I mean, we all know they're from Avengers, but you can have them fighting Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. Or have them, if you have a Thanos, you can have them stand right next to Thanos and they would look like minions, and take out their helmets. Now they're not Chitauris anymore. Or if you have a Loki, which I do, and have him stand right next to him, it looks like he's Vader with 2 stormtroopers. So the possibilities, if you do have this kind of soldiers, are endless, because the display ability is always there. So that's the beauty of it. Have them fight one of your Avengers if you plan on taking pictures of them. The biggest hurdle for me at this point is just space, you know, so that's why maybe down the line I'm gonna have to discard them. But as much as I don't want to, it's because you can always have them fight an Avenger, and if you feel like snapping a photo of him fighting Captain America, it's fine. If you have Captain America of Winter Soldier or even Civil War, and they're not connected to those movies, it's okay. No one's gonna. It's like, hey, you know what? They're not in the same movie, but it's still Captain America. You know, it's still Chitauri, and this is how you assemble this. His helmet. It's quite easy, to be quite honest with you. You know, there are 2 different techniques to it. You know, you can either do that, but I'm not gonna, do in depth of putting those helmets on. The joints are visible, but it's okay on this figure itself. Yeah, it's not a big negative for me. They look awesome regardless, but with the helmet on, I would say it's my preference. And I'll just throw a couple of poses before we wrap this thing up. They're big. They're pretty huge figure. I believe they're around 14, 15 inches. Not as big as Hulk, but definitely taller than a regular figure, even taller than Iron Man. So this is them, just kind of like hanging around. Cool looking figures out there. As you can see, the Rebels add more character to these figures. And also, once you display them in a D-top, they can both fit, and then put Loki in the front. Marvelous. It looks awesome. And this is them fully geared, holding all their guns on the back, ready to fight, ready to die. I guess they didn't really made so much damage in Avengers 1, but on your display case, or if you're planning to do a diorama scene where they're fighting, this would look good. They would look so much better if you have like 5-foot soldiers and 1 commander in the front, and then you have Loki in there. Oh, that would look amazing. So Hot Toys should capitalize on these things. Like, a stormtrooper shouldn't cost the same amount as Leia. I mean, there is a main character, and this is Loki. This is a bad display option because I had him in cuffs, because that's how I display him, but it looks like they just arrested him, which that's their leader. Why would they arrest him? But you get the idea. If Loki has the scepter, kind of pointing forward, and my Loki here is not the Avengers version, because I'm not gonna buy a $500 or $400 Loki. I mean, I won't. I just won't. He's a villain. My collection would be okay with just a Dark World Loki with no helmet on. As much as I love the Avengers look, I think as far as head sculpt is more superior. So I'm not gonna pay more for a lower tiered, accessories better. But we'll talk about that in my Loki review. But this is it. It's a nice figure. If you're planning to pick them up, I would suggest it only for the right price, though. If you can get the set. I mean, the actual set, because the set is running around for what, like $440 on Sideshow. Sometimes they go on sale. I would suggest the set for $300. If you can get it for $300, that means it's $150 each. Go for it. Anything higher than that, maybe as much as $320. So it's like $170, $180-ish. $170 is $340. But my tops would be $320 for the set, only because they're, if you buy them separately, it's gonna cost you what, $170 each. Maybe you can get $150 each, but that's a stretch. You gotta look out for eBay for that. But the set comes with more accessories, and it's the exclusive version. Although it doesn't say here, I think all the set comes with the extra gears anyway. So I would pick up the set, and then if you wanna just have a bunch of foot soldiers, that's what I would do. If you like the Avengers, at least pick up 2, and if you have the space, you won't regret it. Nice looking figures, but like I said, only for the right price, and only if you do have the space. If you don't have much of a space, at least pick up 2, and so you can have fun with your Avengers figures when you're trying to post them and whatnot. So yeah, awesome figures. Pick them up if you have Avengers, the full line, and mix them up with Loki or Ultron in the future. And that should be it, guys. Thank you for watching. Please hit like or subscribe if you haven't done so, and until the next review.